call the committee on transportation infrastructure to order, and I'd ask unanimous consent that the chairman be authorized to declare a recess at any time during today's meeting. Without objection, that is so ordered. I now recognize myself for the purposes of an opening statement. So today we are meeting to amend the committee rules due to changes in the subcommittee ratios. We're going to appoint subcommittee chairman and ranking members and appoint members to their respective subcommittees. Last week, the committee met to organize at the full committee level, and this week we'll conclude our organizational business by appointing members to each of our 6 subcommittees. Each subcommittee allows our members to dig deeper on issues within our committee's jurisdiction. The work on the subcommittee level informs the full committee activities that we will pursue, and I look forward to working with each subcommittee as we pursue our aggressive legislative agenda for this Congress. Our first order of business is the adoption of an amended version of the rules for the Committee on Transportation Infrastructure for the 119th Congress. A copy of the amended committee rules, together with a summary of the changes to the rules, were distributed both electronically and in advance, are also available in the hearing room. The amended rules we are considering today simply reflect an adjustment to the member ratio on the Subcommittee on Highways and Transit. In order to better accommodate the preferences of members on both sides of the dais, 3 additional slots were given to both majority and minority. We're able to coordinate these changes with Ranking Member Larson, and I do appreciate him and his staff on this adjustment, on working with us on this adjustment. I now recognize Mr. Larson for a statement on the amended rules.
Thank you, Chair Graves. The amended rules we are considering today increase the number of slots for the Highways and Transit Subcommittee. This accounts for the increased member interest in the subcommittee for this Congress. I want to thank the Chair and his staff for coordinating with us on this change. And with that, I yield back.
Do any members wish to be recognized for a statement on the committee amended rules? Seeing no one, is there further discussion on the committee's amended rules? Seeing none, the amended rules are open for amendment at any point. Are there any amendments to the committee's amended rules? Seeing none, I recognize Mr. Larson for a motion.
I move to adopt the amended rules.
The question is on the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed signify by saying nay. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the motion is agreed to, and the amended rules are adopted. The rules of the Committee on Transportation Infrastructure for the 119th Congress reflecting this agreed to change will be printed in the congressional record, made available in electronic form to all members of the committee and the public on the committee's website. Now the committee will move to approve the subcommittee chairman and ranking members. The rosters of the full committee and each subcommittee listing the chairman and ranking members were distributed in advance and are available at in the hearing room today, and I now recognize myself for a quick statement. I'm very excited for the new and returning chairs that we have leading subcommittees this Congress. The Subcommittee on Aviation will have a new leader. As Congress Representative Troy Nehls is going to serve as the subcommittee's chairman. We have important work ahead of us ensuring the FAA implements the FAA Reauthorization Act of 2024 as Congress intended. Next, the Subcommittee on Coast Guard and Maritime Transportation will also have new leadership. Representative Mike Gazelle will serve as the subcommittee's chairman and will play an important role on this as this committee continues its efforts to pass Coast Guard authorization legislation into law. Representative Scott Perry will continue to serve as chairman of the Subcommittee on Economic Development, Public Buildings, and Emergency Management, and I know he will build on the subcommittee's success last Congress to ensure that the GSA implements the important reforms that were just signed into law as part of WRDA, bringing federal workers back into the office and holding FEMA accountable for its disaster response efforts. Representative David Rouser is going to continue to be a leader on the committee. However, this Congress, he will serve as the chairman of the Subcommittee on Highways and Transit. This committee works to reauthorize the nation's surface transportation programs. I know we can count on Chairman Rouser to lead the subcommittee, just as he led the Water Resources and Environment Subcommittee in last year's WRDA process. Next, Representative Daniel Webster will remain a leader on the committee, but this Congress, he will serve as chairman of the Subcommittee on Railroads, Pipelines, and Hazardous Materials. Chairman Webster will bring experienced leadership to the subcommittee as we work to pass pipeline safety legislation again this Congress. And finally, the Subcommittee on Water Resources and Environment will also have new leadership. Representative Mike Collins will serve as the subcommittee's chairman. We've got work to do this Congress, including passing legislation, improving the nation's water infrastructure, and I look forward to Representative Collins leading the way. I'd also like to note that Representative Rick Crawford will serve as the committee's vice chairman, which, by the way, happy birthday. He is an experienced leader on this committee, and I look forward to his continued service on our leadership team as we tackle the committee's aggressive agenda. And I also want to congratulate him on his appointment to chair the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. I look forward to working with this strong group of folks leading the subcommittees, and I'm excited for them to bring their perspectives to the important work of the subcommittees. With that, I yield back, and I'm now going to recognize Mr. Larson for a statement on his subcommittee ranking members.
Thank you, Chair. Last week at the Sinai Democratic Caucus org meeting, the caucus elected 6 subcommittee ranking members. Representative Steve Cohen will continue as a ranking member of the Subcommittee on Aviation. Representative Salud Carbajal will continue as ranking member of the Subcommittee on Coast Guard and Maritime Transportation. Representative Greg Stanton will become the ranking member of the Subcommittee on Economic Development, Public Buildings, and Emergency Management. Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton will continue as ranking member of the Subcommittee on Highways and Transit. Representative Dina Titus will continue her service to subcommittees, but this time as ranking member of the Subcommittee on Railroads, Pipelines, and Hazardous Materials. And Representative Frederica Wilson will be the ranking member of the Subcommittee on Water Resources and the Environment. Additionally, the committee caucus elected Representative Amelia Sykes of Ohio as the vice ranking member for the 119th Congress. With that, I yield back.
Do any other members wish to be recognized for a statement on subcommittee chairs or ranking members? Seeing no one, is there any further discussion? Seeing none, I recognize Mr. Larson for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move subcommittee chairs and ranking members as set forth in the roster be approved and adopted for the 119th Congress.
The question is on the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed signify by saying nay. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the motion is agreed to. Now, the final order of business before the committee is to approve the subcommittee assignments. The rosters for the subcommittees were distributed in advance and electronically and also available in the hearing room today. I'll recognize myself for a statement. First, I would like to thank Ranking Member Larson for working with us to determine the subcommittee ratios. And again, I want to mention that we have an aggressive agenda ahead of us as Congress. And the work of our committee is going to be guided by individuals with a variety of backgrounds and perspectives. As I noted during the organization of the full committee, we have members with so many different backgrounds that we have truckers, we have helicopter pilots, we have farmers, small business owners, former state and local legislators, former law enforcement officials, prosecutors, physicians, and that's just to name a few of the occupations that are out there. And each of these perspectives is going to be important as we tackle the busy work scheduled ahead of us. With that, I yield back and recognize Mr. Larson for a statement on subcommittee assignments.
Thank you, Chair. Pursuant to House Democratic Caucus rules, the Democratic members of the committee met last week to select subcommittee assignments. The results of that selection process are reflected in the roster that we are considering today, and I urge its adoption. Yield back.
Do any other members wish to be recognized for a statement on subcommittee assignments? Seeing no one, is there any further discussion? Seeing none, I'd recognize Mr. Larson for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the subcommittee assignments as set forth in rosters be approved and adopted for the 119th Congress.
The question is on the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed signify by saying nay. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the motion is agreed to. Pursuant to Rule 6 of the Rules of the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure, the Chairman notes the presence of a quorum for the actions taken on committee business today, and without objection, that is so ordered. I'd ask unanimous consent that staff be authorized to make all necessary technical, clarifying, and conforming changes to each item adopted today to reflect the actions of the committee, and without objection, that is so ordered. I will remind members that we are about to transition into a highway and transit subcommittee hearing. Please allow staff a moment to prepare the hearing room for our next committee activity. And with that, the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure has completed its organizational business for the day, and the committee is now adjourned.